Coming from the Bronx, it was a tough neighborhood. Went to a commuter school, went to Brooklyn Tech, so it was taking a train at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to Brooklyn because my local high school was a war zone.
So his father actually labeled a special needs student because he spoke Spanish. And I think Juan saw the impact that that had on his father, and had an impact on Juan because his father didn't want him to speak Spanish because he was afraid that Juan would be labeled separately because of that.
My parents were laborers and they came to the United States for a better life. They worked hard, worked really, really hard, and wanted to give us the benefit of pursuing education.
He's been able to sort of transcend the circumstances of our parents and really excel in a world that really not my parents and maybe not his parents ever thought that was achievable and possible.
Big influencers in my life, I like to call it sort of the cadre of old Latinas. You know, my grandmother who left Puerto Rico because frankly she didn't want to get hit anymore by my grandfather. So it's these women, these really strong Latinas that have held up the family, that are sort of the backbone of, I think, pretty much every Latino family. My experience as a CHCI fellow was truly a groundbreaking moment in my life. It exposed me to things that people from my neighborhood just really wouldn't be exposed to. That's the halls of Congress, that's the administration, all of the inner workings of the federal government. CHCI truly opened up doors for me.
He saw the impact that it had on his career development, so he has now adopted that program within the company and makes sure that we are committed and devoted to supporting CHCI and the CHCI Fellows Program.
His commitment to our youth, his commitment to CHCI and to our Fellows Program, not a lot of people make those kinds of commitments.
Always stayed very close to CHCI. I'm a big believer in you pay it forward. I do have the benefit of working for a corporation that I've been able to leverage their resources and their good social consciousness, if you will, to help more kids like myself.
Juan has been newly chosen as the Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion at Comcast, and it helps to oversee all the diversity and inclusion efforts across the company.
One of my roles at Comcast is to make sure that we do have the most accurate, positive representations of Latinos and actually all communities of color.
Every time he's needed, always responded with his generosity of his time, of his creativity, of his energy, of his intelligence. He's always been there. And so he's very, very, como se dice, se lo merece. Se lo merece. That's all I can say.
He's in a sense a trailblazer, and so I think given his background and what I know about him, he wants to make sure that that trail stays open for those who come behind him.
Because we see where Juan Otero's gone in his life, but just as important, how is it that we open the road for others? K-I-N-D, kind, right? That seems to me to sum up Juan Otero. And committed to making sure there's a more prosperous, more inclusive, and more opportunity-driven environment for young Latinos.